Hey guys, it's Peter Chen, recording another video. I'm playing 200 Zoom. This is continuing right off of where we left off last week. The player pool is pretty soft right now. It's pretty late at night. On table 2, I have ace 4 in the big blind. I'm going to 3-bet against the button open. I could call this as well. And I'm going to fold to this 4-bet. On table 2, I'm opening the cutoff with King Jack off. Going to be mostly betting on this flop for a small size. And on this turn, I think I mix between betting and checking. On table 1, I face a limp re-raise. I guess I have to call. I'm not very happy about it. But the size is pretty small and I have a good hand. On table 2, I river a flush. And I'm going to go for a bet. On table 1, I faced a quarter pot bet on the flop and I called, and now I'm facing the same size bet, the same 5 big blind bet, but now it's a sixth of the pot. On the river, I think I get value from nothing if I bet. Like, he mostly just has ace-king right now. That being said, I'm almost never beat as well. I just don't really think I get called by anything worse. He actually did have me beat with kings. On table 2, I 3-bet small blind against button with ace queen off. Table 1, opening under the gun with ace 10. And table 2, opening the button. I'm going to start off by pretty much always checking. I have a great hand to check to with ace high. And folding against this biggish bet. On table 2, I think the king 7 is a mixed open. And on table 1, opening the small blind with ace 3. On table 2, small blind raises really small. I'm going to call the big blind. I have a gut shot, I have a double gut shot. I think I can either raise or call. I'm going to raise. On table 1, I'm going to call the big blind against the small blind open with king 8. On table 2, 3-betting ace king suited. I think the king 8 I can fold. If I had some kind of backdoor draw, I would call. I would call a much weaker hand than king 8 if I had a backdoor flush draw. With the ace king, I'm going to continue betting. On table 1, opening the small blind with ace jack off. I could either check or bet this. With the ace high, I want to check a little more often than other hands. And I'm going to call the bet. Checks through on the turn. I'm not sure about my sizing. I think I can bet pretty big. I still have most of my aces, but I'm not sure if I just want to lump it in with all my 10s and go for a smaller size. Maybe I can also just bet the size I did if I have a 10. On table 2, I opened 6-5. I got 3-bet. I'm going to call. Oh, I face a third pot bet, a little less than a third on the flop, and I'm thinking about raising this hand some of the time. I don't think I get a lot of raising on this flop, but my hand is one of the better ones to do it with. Now I think I pretty much have the worst hand I can have, so I'm going to bet. I have a bunch of ace X that I'm going to bet as well, and maybe something like pocket sixes or pocket sevens sometimes. I'm not sure if I can ever have something like Queen Jack suited. On table 1, I'm going to 3-bet. big blind versus small blind with ace queen suited. I get a very good flop for my hand. I'm going to continue betting. I think I can bet sometimes or check sometimes. I'm going to bet. I get snap called and bet into on the river. Good card for him to donk on. I'm not sure if this very big bet is a thing. I'm just folding my hand. On table 2, opening the button with ace king. On table 1, opening under the gun with ace 10 off. I'm going to 3-bet this king 10 on table 2. On this flop, I think I can check back some of the time and bet a lot. I'm going to bet this time. On this turn, I think I get to bet a lot for a small size. Table 1, opening under the gun with jack 9 suited. I'm going to open this king 10 and I'm going to raise smaller because of the big blind having 26 bigs. On table 1, opening the small blind with ace 3 off, and on table 2, opening cutoff with ace queen off. On table 1, I'm going to call the button against under the gun open with pocket 3s. If he checks, I'm not sure if 3s is a good hand to bet or not. I'm just folding to the bet though. On table 2, opening under the gun with 10-9 suited. I'm going to check on this flop. I could bet sometimes. After he checks back, I'm going to go for a big bet. On table one, I opened ace jack off from the hijack, got called by the big blind. I think on this flop I'm mostly betting. And on table two, I opened under the gun with nines. With the ace jack, I think I can either bet or check. With the nines, I think I have a flop where I'm checking back a lot, and nines is a pretty good hand to bet, but I'm still checking it a bunch. So I decide to check. I'm going to call this bet on the turn. And my hand seems strong enough to bet. He should be calling me with a bunch of sevens and fives, and he has a lot of those hands too. On table one, opening cutoff with king seven suited. On table two, I'm going to three bet ace three suited button against hijack. I'm going to mix betting and checking on this flop. I'm going to check this time. I'm going to mix betting and checking again on the turn, I think, but with a lot more betting. I'm still checking a lot of hands, but my flush draw got a lot better to bet. On table one, I'm going to three bet this 8-7. I think I can either check or bet now. I'm going to check. And I'm going to call this bet. I'm going to call again. And I river the nuts. pretty much the nuts. On table 2, I'm going to mix 4 betting and calling with this hand, and with my 7, I'm going to shove. On table 1, opening the cutoff with Jack 10 offsuit. And on table 2, I have the exact same hand. I'm checking a lot on the flop on table 1, so even though I have a very good hand to bet, I'm still going to be checking it most of the time. And calling on the turn. On table 2, when I get called by the button, I'm just going to pure check on the flop. I think my hand is probably not strong enough to go for a big bet. Maybe it's close. On table 1, I bet for value. On table 2, when I said my hand was not strong enough to big bet, I was talking about table 2. And I think this is a river where I just check a lot. My hand seems pretty decent to bet though, but I think I'm mostly checking. Yeah, now that I've thought about this a bit more, I think I've changed my mind on mostly checking, and I also I don't think he can have a flush very often. So I think I should raise and it's hard to see getting called by much if I raise. It's pretty much just ace jack, I think. Or maybe he can hero call me with a 10. Now, if he had ace 10 with the ace of spades. So he had the same hand as me. On table 1, 3-betting button against hijack with queen 10 suited. I think on this flop I can either bet or check, mostly betting. This is a pretty good turn for me. I don't think I have to bet always. I want to go for a big bet, so I think that's why I can check back this hand sometimes. On table 1, opening under the gun with ace 10. On table 1, I'm going to call blind versus blind with 5-3 suited. On table 2, I think I can 3-bet this sometimes. Going to fold. And with the 5-3, I'm going to put in a raise. On table 2, opening the cutoff with ace queen. I'm going to open this 10-7 on table 1 as well. On table 2, opening under the gun with king 8 suited. On table 1, I think I can either bet or check this hand. On table 2, I think I can bet this hand sometimes, but mostly checking. On table 1, opening the button with queen jack. And with the king 8, I'm going to call with my second pair. Never doing anything else. And now my hand is too weak to call, I think. I think having the king is a pretty good card to call with because I'm not blocking any of his bluffs. But I still think my hand is too weak. This 8-6, I'm going to 3-bet sometimes and call sometimes. On table 1, opening the cutoff with king queen suited. I get called by the small blind. I think I want to be mostly checking with this hand. On table 2, opening 4s from the hijack. I'm going to call the 3-bet. The king queen, I think I can fold. So on table 2, I face a half pot bet. I'm definitely not folding. If I face another bet, I'm going to be folding. So on table 1, opening under the gun with Queen 9. On table 1, I'm going to 3-bet ace queen. I could call as well. On table 2, I'm going to 4-bet with my ace king suited. So I flop a flush draw and a gut shot. Going to make a very small bet. Going to be making very small bets on a lot of 4-bet spots. I'm not really sure what to do against this raise, but it's only a little bit more than a half pot bet to raise. But I wouldn't be surprised if I'm supposed to just make a very small raise. On table 1, I 3-bet my king queen. I bet quarter pot on the flop, half pot on the turn. I'm going to bet again on the river. I think I want to go for a big sizing. And with queens, I'm going to 4-bet. We're getting some pretty big hands right at the end of this video. Okay, we have ace king. Maybe we'll see another big pot. I'm going to 4-bet. I saved all the excitement for the end of this video. Unfortunately, it was exciting for this guy and not for me. I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for watching and see you guys next week.